Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sohum and I'm on a mission to spread peace, love, and positivity through music. Today I'll be reacting to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the very first time. We're going to be doing a double reaction, checking out the songs Crumbling Castles and Catching Smoke. It's a very interesting name for a band, King Gizzard. I believe Gizzard is I think a reference to chickens. So it's like King Chicken and Lizard Wizard. That's just a super fun name for a band. It almost feels like a bit of a meme. But honestly, I don't really know what to expect today. I was told a little bit about this band that they may be in the realm of psychedelic rock, pop, and metal. But outside of that, I'm really unfamiliar, but excited to check them out today. Before we do that, a massive thank you goes to Evan the Creative for making this donation request and for putting some music on Sohum's radar, because that is the entire point of my channel, is to discover new music. So thank you, Evan. But now let's jump in, starting with Crumbling Castles. Got the Sabbath shirt. Hold on, give me a second. It feels like the audio is getting like quieter and louder at the same time, but at almost very fast intervals. It's almost like it's like absorbing, resorbing, getting bigger and smaller. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Ooh, beautiful melody. Dude, psychedelic rock is absolutely right. This is, I was going to say all over the place, but it's all over in an area that I don't fully understand. I'm kind of getting reminded a bit of Blue Oyster Cult, if any of you have listened to Blue Oyster Cult. It's very dynamic. What is going on with the time signature? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This may be in something like 11/16 or something. I don't know why my brain is not figuring it out. I gotta say, this is cool. So this is 4/4. Oh god, what is this time signature now? You Australians love crazy time signatures. The Caligula's horses, porcupine trees, cold chisel. Wow. Nice syncopated, these hits. Whoa. I'm sorry for pausing so much. The rhythm is sincerely breaking my brain. I don't even know how to enjoy this properly without feeling like I'm losing the plot every like 30 seconds. Polyrhythms. Feedback. I'm loving the rhythms, the melodies, the confusing sound effects. It's all adding up. You know, interesting in some of these like verse sections where this vocalist is like reaching into his lower registers and just obviously don't take my rendition of that as his. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Rammstein in their verses and pre-choruses. If you know, you know, I guess. I guess I'll just leave it at that. It's a very interesting vocal delivery. Instead of being like sing-songy, it's like almost in this like murky place. Crumbling Castle, that's cool. Oh god, now the rhythm again. 4/4. Wow. Dude, what is going on? Evan, what are you doing to me, man? Trying to break my brain over here. I can see the camera right here. Look at that. Huge lens.
I see through the bricks to the sea, crumbling castle. Inching closer each century, crumbling castle. Waters rising every crumbling castle. Are we saving our city?
Oh, wow. Oh,
Discover new
brain.
music at listener-powered-kexp.
Wow. I gotta say, like, the two adjectives I would use to describe this are beautiful and confusing. This is the kind of band that I don't think is attainable on a first listen, and this song in particular would require 3 to 4, I think, listens, at least for me, to like fully wrap my brain around all of these separate sections, and then to analyze each section and figure out what is happening rhythmically, what's happening specifically with the mix, what melodies are being played, and the overall feeling I get from it all is that it is very beautiful. It is very earnest, but confusing nonetheless, because these rhythms are actually complicated. You probably saw me trying to like count out the rhythms in my mind. The time signatures were certainly changing, but not only were the time signatures changing, the underlying subdivisions were changing within each measure. So you have the potentiality and, eventuality of polyrhythms within these altering time signatures. So like the moment in my brain where I'm like able to get the one of a measure, then I can kind of like lock in and figure out, okay, this is the pattern that's going to be sustained for potentially the rest of this section. But in this listen, by the time I figure out where that one is, a new one has emerged, a new challenger has arrived, and off to confuse Sohum once again. A lot of what I heard in this mix was super unique too, and I'm just going to chalk it up to Australian bands being fed something different, because it feels like every prog group I hear, every psychedelic rock group, any music really from Australia is inspired and extremely unique. I don't really hear quote unquote generic bands from Australia. Hats off to y'all. Let's check out the next song, shall we? This one is Catching Smoke. Let's see if my brain can handle this one. This sounds so different. This is almost like a pop song. And you hear these bubbling notes. is he wearing? Is he wearing that thing from that movie, Midsummer? If you know, you know.
I
lost it. It seems like that last measure gets extended 1 or 2 extra beats, so it is mostly in 4/4, but then it seems like we get a measure of maybe 5/4. That's the best you're gonna get from me. This is so appropriate for what I'm experiencing. I can hardly read sheet music. I'm learning, or I guess relearning sheet music. That is hieroglyphics, man. Is this not a little creepy? Am I feeling this correctly? The close-up smile shots? Like, it's creepy, you know? I mean, what an incredibly vibey song. It feels like your average pop song in some senses, but then when you listen rhythmically and you hear the instrumentation, truly, it is not your average pop song. If you played something like this on the radio, I think it would actually break the brain of like 16-year-olds in America who would like the vibe of something like this. It almost, in a weird way, reminds me of that UK band. I think it's the 1975, in terms of how bright the vocals are, how bright this track feels overall. It feels through and through pop, but it's like prog pop. Maybe that's the way to put it. And who doesn't want to see 16-year-old fans' brains break? Oh Lord, what now? What now? What now, King Gizzard and Lizard Wizards?
$25. Baby, we cook a hobbies. So give me just a
I love Australians so much. Every person I've ever spoken to from Australia has been just so fun. You guys got to give us Americans some tips in being cool.
At the foot of a rainbow, everybody here is catching smoke. Looking for the ephemeral. Riding on the yellow belly brown snake, sipping on hidden Gizzard. Catching smoke, catching smoke, catching smoke, catching smoke, catching smoke, catching smoke.
Dude, I can't shake how funny and creepy this all is, but also it sounds amazing. You know they're having, just the time of their lives filming all that. Man, what an interesting experience this was today with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards. Where do I start? I think it was like occurring to me at the end, but like there are 4 C's that this song, Catching Smoke, like evokes in my mind. We got comical, a bit creepy, catchy, and complicated. Like, I can't believe I came up with 4 C's. That is like almost perfect. The alliteration is unmatched. I don't know how they like managed to find such a interesting confluence. I think the creepy part just comes from the music video and then me like projecting my visions of that movie Midsummer. I don't know. I love that movie studio, by the way, A24 Studios. They come out with some of the most interesting human-esque horror movies you'll ever watch. I'll leave my movie propaganda aside for the moment, but yeah, I get that visual element of creepiness from this, but then it's super catchy because it's a very pop, bright sound that has a catchy chorus, catchy melodies, but then it becomes complicated because you're bouncing along to that music in a way that you would expect normally to be purely in 4/4, and I guess invariably with King Gizzard and Lizard Wizards, it is not 4/4. It is always some combination of like, oh, this measure is 5/4. Oh, this measure we cut out a few beats, or we created a syncopated polyrhythm that is meant to confuse you, and now you don't know where to headbang. Are you supposed to headbang to something like this? These are all the questions that like in 2 seconds run through my brain. So that was all related to Catching Smoke, and then winding back to Crumbling Castle, that mix was even more complicated. Honestly, I would weight the 4 C's differently there. I think I would completely omit creepy from that assessment. It would just be complicated, catchy, and what was my other one? Comical? I don't think it was as comical, so maybe I would have to omit comical from Crumbling Castles. Crumbling Castles, also 2 more C's. This is a interesting reaction for me to do because normally I have a good grasp of like the songs that I'm listening to, their structures, the genre that they exist within, the different subgenres that they draw from, and I sort of can answer those questions, but like if you gave me a multiple choice test right now, chances are it would be 50-50 between like B and C every single time. And I don't know if it's the case in Australia, but like in the US, they love giving kids multiple choice tests. So usually you can rule out like answer D because answer D is like completely unrelated to the question. So it's like, all right, that's one out of the way. And then like with some minor like surface level information, you can rule out A because look, A is in the ballpark, but like because I did some studying, I know it's not A. It's always between B and C. There's always some trickery of the wording that makes it hard to tell which is which. There's some trickery afoot. Anyways, I really enjoyed this one today. If you guys enjoyed my reaction and would like to request more King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards yourself, or any other band for that matter, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description box below. But as always, my friends, have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care and peace.